Welcome to the Goal Achievers Podcast, where we interview the most preeminent business experts, authors, and speakers in their field of expertise, and provide you with the specialized knowledge needed to achieve your goals. Now here is your host, author, founder of Goal Achievers International, and one of the top speakers agents in the industry, serving over 5,000 events and meeting planners worldwide. Please welcome Phil R. Taylor.
Well, welcome everybody to another exciting episode of the Goal Achievers Podcast. Today, we are thrilled to have a very special guest on our program by the name of Dr. Frank Marshall, who is the founder and CEO of a empowering organization called Force of One, based out of Atlanta. Dr. Marshall has been mentoring adult and youth in the area of personal development, leadership, financial literacy, and community engagement. I've observed and been to his events, and I got to tell you, I am just beside myself at the impact that he has. And so I've asked him to come onto the program and share his insights with us in terms of what he's doing in Atlanta and how we can also implement some of the insights that he has right where we are. So Uncle Frank, Dr. Frank, welcome to the program.
Thanks, Brother Phil. Thanks for having me, man.
It's great to have you. Well, listen, could you give us, for the sake of the audience, just an overview of yourself, perhaps your upbringing, and what's brought you to the place you are today doing what you're doing?
Well, growing up as a very poor young man, and I knew, Brother Phil, that it was more to living than what I was experiencing when I was a little boy. Just looking around and seeing how other people were living and how they was achieving, how they were moving forward and doing certain things, and seemed like my life was just at a standstill because we were poor. And I promised God, I made a vow to God, Brother Phil, when I was a little boy, God, you ever put me in a position to be able to help your people, I will promise you, I will help your peoples and my family as well.
Right.
He put me in that position. And so he put me in that position. And I'm holding true to what I promised him. And so that's why I do what I do, because I don't want no other kids or no other ones to go through the things that I went through. Some things that I have learned, and I pass it on, so maybe they can pick up those crumb pieces and everything and be able to get past some of the things that I experienced and move more exponentially down the field than because I didn't have that mentor and all this and that, because the word mentor wasn't being flaunted around that much when I was growing up. As a matter of fact, Brother Phil, I don't even think I remember hearing the word mentor.
Really?
Because see, I'm 70 years old, and I don't think I remember hearing the word mentoring until I started getting into my late 50s or something.
Is that right? Wow.
Which came into play. And so I promise God that you put me in a position to help your people. I promise you, I'll never, ever, ever, never, ever, ever, never, ever look down on anyone, Brother Phil, unless I'm complimenting them on the shoes, I'm helping them up one. And I have held true to that.
Yeah, never look down on someone unless you're helping them up, right? Extending
them on the shoes one.
That's right. Well, you do that in such a beautiful and authentic way. It sounds like you've been able to turn that pain into gain and really tap into what I guess Napoleon Hill says, the equal seat of opportunity with every adversity and or greater than. And so tell us a little bit about your childhood. Did you grow up in a loving home with loving parents? What was that like? And perhaps give us some insights on that and how it impacted your thinking to this day and so forth.
Yes, I grew up in a loving home. I grew up in a single parent home.
Okay.
Mom, man, she worked. She did all that she could to take care of us. We didn't have the best of stuff to eat at all time, because there have been many times all we had to eat was buttermilk and cornbread. That's all we had to eat for supper a lot of times. But we never went to bed hungry. Mom did the best that she could with what she had. And so now I'm so grateful to God for that. And, we had a lot of people, helped out, and we had to wear hand-me-downs and, such as that. And that's why, people gave to us the much as they could. So that's why I have such giving spirit. That's why I don't have no problem helping other people, because I will help myself, because I don't know where I would be in today's world without the help of others. And so that's why that's why I tell people all the time, we're so much better together than we are individual. Our biggest problem, we try to do too much by ourselves. We have to learn collaborative effort. We have to learn that. And so, like I said, we grew up in a home, it was about 10 of us. And like I said, we used to fight and did this and that. And we had to wear one another clothes. And one of my biggest things, man, when we had so many, so 10 people in a household, mama had to do a lot of washing. Like I said, she had bear a lot of that bearing herself, and some of my older siblings had got to a point where they would help out somewhat. We would have to wear our clothes sometime like about 3 days a week. We go to school and we come home, mama would make her pull our clothes off and hang them up so we can wear them back again the next day. And then if they're not dirty in 3 days, we'll have to wear them again the fourth day. But I make sure my clothes were dirty. I made sure they were dirty after that third day, because I did not want to wear my clothes back before that. And I made a vow when I was a little boy, when I grew up, I would never ever wear my clothes twice a day. And I have held true to that, because I did what I had to do at that particular time. And so God had blessed me to the degree that I don't have to do that anymore. So like I say, so we grew up and we fought it just like any other siblings did. We fought it, but we always came right back together. And we showed love. So yes, we grew up in a real loving home, know.
That's an amazing insight into your life, Uncle Frank. And you said you grew up in a single parent home.
Yes.
Where was obviously your mother? Where was your father? And does that play an impact with the youth of today that you work with in terms of mentorship?
I think so, Phil, because I think by me not having, sometimes, not having a father, sometimes if he doesn't have anything to really offer to you, a lot of times, so it's best for him not to be in your life. And I think that's probably what happened and everything, because I knew that it was more to life than what I've experienced, and that made me to be a better father as well. Because I made a vow, and I said, when I grow up and have kids, I would want my kid. I'll make sure that I'm gonna be the best father that any man could be. And I have held true that. My kids tell me that all the time. Even let my son, as you know, my son is in prison, and he tell me all the time. He said, "Daddy, I'm not here because of you." He said, "I'm here because I wouldn't listen to you." He said, "Excuse me." He said, "I just wish I had listened to you, Daddy." He said, "Daddy, you have been a good father." So I was saying, I don't think if he had been in my life, I don't know whether my life would have been better or worse. But without him, it made me to be a better man. It made me see what I didn't want out of life.
Yeah. Interesting, because every year now, and it's coming, I think, to the 13th annual summit or conference that you have, which is a father and son
correct
luncheon, red tie event, where you bring together fathers and sons together to bond. And here you grew up in a situation that was fatherless, with 9 siblings. What is the last memory of your father, Uncle Frank? And
well, I really don't have a whole lot of memories of my father, because he never really was in my life. We never done anything together other than I would see my father, because he stayed somewhat in the neighborhood, just seeing him out and about in the neighborhood, this and that. But for us really taking me to the store, taking me to a game or anything like that, I have no
recollection. No recollection
at all.
And yet you had a mother, a loving mother that breathed into you faith and self-esteem and positivity. And boy, it's no easy task raising 10 children, I tell you. And just wow. And just where were you in the mix of the 10? Where did you?
I was a middle child.
You were the middle child. Okay, right. All right, the famous middle child. Well, that's a fascinating background, and it's just tremendously inspiring to see how you've taken the challenges of your life and turn them into such positivity, because a lot of people will just go the other way. You just
Absolutely.
and play the victim and say, listen, I didn't have a great upbringing. It's not my fault. And, blame the world around them, blame
Mhm.
God, blame society, and so forth. And yet you teach and inspire personal responsibility and a sense of a healthy self-image in the ones that you serve. Um, why young men? Tell me, because such of your focus is on young men, working with men through Force of One. Tell us a little bit more about that. What drives you every day? Because you're tireless in your work and your activity. You never stop. You're on
Just
fire.
like I say, absolutely, man. And like I always say, man, I'm not going to stop until my casket drop.
Ah, okay. All right. All
So
right.
that's my motto now, brother Phil. I'm not going to stop
Wow.
until my casket drop.
Oh
These
boy.
young people, they need us, man.
Yes.
They need us. They need a model. They need a model, because that's what I needed growing up. I
Okay.
need a model. That's
Okay.
something that I really didn't have. I didn't have that model. So since I want what I didn't have.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
why I do what I do. I want to be what I didn't have,
Right.
and I know the importance of it. So that's why I do what I do.
Okay. Okay. So you touched on mentorship, which was a foreign word to you until just
Mhm.
maybe a couple decades ago, which isn't too long ago. And you talked about models. Today, who are the people that inspire you? Who are those that you look up to as
Hmm.
people of inspiration and as
That's
leaders?
a good question.
Yeah.
That's a good question. And some even believe it or not, even like you inspire me, Phil.
Well,
You inspire me. I look up to you with your generosity and your kindness and all this and that, and that's what the world need more of. But really, my main two was
yeah.
like my pastor and another guy by the name of George Frazier. Those two guys
Ah,
have really, really inspired me, that mentored me, have
okay.
really inspired me, because I love what they do, and I have sit up under them, up under their teaching and everything. The teaching is so profound and everything. I just love the way they exude, and I love the way they pour into other people's and everything to uplift and elevate others. And I just love that. So that really inspired me, so now hook my wagon up to them. you
That's
know.
one. Well, I heard George Fraser speak in Winston-Salem, and I think that's where we first met, way back, uh,
Mhm.
for the 17 Biblical Principles of Success Summit. And he was one of the speakers for the Dudley event as a whole
Right.
celebration. Very, very inspiring. And tell us a little bit more about your pastor and your church and your community and how that really lifts you up.
Yes, sir, man. Like I said, man, when I first went to that church, I really didn't want to go because it was a large church, and I always have had mixed emotion about large
Uh-huh.
churches. Certain
Yes.
things people used to say about them, this and that. And then once I went there and just listened to this guy, it wasn't, and it was nothing like what I have heard. It was pretty much all positive. And I just fell in love with the teaching, because the teaching was connected to my spirit. I used to think in a certain way, but I really had no one to really speak to that side of me. When I
Yeah.
started going to that church, man, that man started speaking to the in essence of my soul, and it just illuminated me. And I just whoa, and I
Wow.
just blew up, man. And I've been on that path pretty much ever since,
Amen.
because he spoke to my soul, man, and really put me on that path, uh, um, you know, or put me on the straight path to be able to help a lot of people, and
Yeah.
really open my mind up to a lot of things and let me know that what was more possible. All things are possible to those that believe it. He really eliminated that, brought it out. So I just love the way his lifestyle, the
Yeah.
way he lived his lifestyle, and the way he handled his family and all this and that, such loving family. And so it just does something to me. I wanted that.
Beautiful. Beautiful. We need those encouragers, and really
Absolutely.
behind all of that is the Spirit of God, right? Who
Absolutely.
lovingly utilizes us as vessels in this world to bring goodness in people's lives, to really bring out that life that is abundant that He came to bring, and He's given us
Mhm.
as he has you and your pastor and so many others special gifts to build up one another, and you do that so faithfully, Uncle Frank. And I appreciate you greatly, except for your bowling. You know, you and I, we went out bowling, and it's still
You're not gonna let me play that.
no. You videotaped it, and I know you're just waiting to use that for a special day, you know. So, but no, we have had some real great times together, and I just gotta remember to let go of the bowling ball, you know, when we get that's
That would help. That would help. Let go of the bowling ball and not try to be the bowling ball.
And not be the bowling ball. Exactly. All right. Okay. All right. Back to more serious and meaningful issues here in life. Listen, Force of One. Tell us the history behind that, because it was founded 13 years ago, was it? It's a 501c, and tell us the vision and the mission behind Force of One and what you're doing with that organization today.
No. Vision, Force of One come together to get men to take their rightful place, you know, in the world, because so many men are out of position, not doing the things they supposed to be doing. So we come together to try to get men to elevate their thinking, you know, to be more, you know, to educate themselves, man, and put themselves in financial position so they can be able to get out and enjoy the fruits of this world and raise their kids and everything to the degree that they should, and educate them, because we all know we can't do anything without no funds. And so that's what I want to do. Our job is to try to get many people as possible to be financially free. And that's because we do financial sessions and such as that, man, especially now with the young people. We got a conference coming up real soon, February 3rd, a youth conference. We got it coming up. We're going to be sharing some things with them. And so, like I said, and our mission is to try to get many men as possible to see how important life really is and how important family is and everything, man. Be able to be there for the kids and everything. That's very, very important. Very important. So those are some things we do. Because like I said, because I didn't have that, and I know how important that is. Well, you know.
That is quite evident. And what I hear from this discussion is really God first, family second.
Yes, sir.
You
Most
know,
definitely.
and then of course community that extends out of all of that. That is beautiful. You piqued my interest. February 3rd, there's a youth conference. Tell us about that. And
yes, February 3rd, we're having a youth conference because, you know, normally, Brother Phil, we usually deal with for young males.
Okay.
And so the Force of One just add another piece to the Force of One. We're dealing with the young ladies now as well.
Okay.
So my daughters, I had a conversation with my two daughters, and so they spearheading that part of with the young girls. We got a Force of One sisterhood now as well.
Oh, so, beautiful.
So we because so many little young girls used to come to me all the time. Frank, why don't you ever take us this? And we need something as well. So when I talked to my daughter, spoke my daughters and them about it, so they agree and they accepted that. So we having a youth conference February 3rd. Going to be boys and girls age from 10 to 20. But you know, just because you're not 10, if you 8 or 9, if you competent enough to come and here you can come and because we said 20, but just if you're 21, 22, 23, you can't come. That's not the case. You can still come, but you know, you always have a target market in that. So that's go ahead.
Okay, well, listen, getting together, being around inspiring individual, learning and growing, that's what we're all about. Tell us, where can one go to register for that?
Mm-hmm. We hadn't put the register up just yet, and so it should be coming up this week. We'll be doing that
this week. So look out for that, and of course follow Force. Your website. What's the URL on that? Just for the folks, so that they can follow that.
Force of One Media.org.
Okay. Force of One. That's number one media.org. And it's a 501c3. So any donations that you give to this organization is tax deductible and goes to a very worthy cause. Wonderful. And now with Force of One, you have also weekly meetings, don't you?
Correct.
Mondays and Tuesdays. Tell us about that, because that's not to be overlooked. And I'm sure folks would love to learn more about that.
Yeah, on Monday night we do we do a Zoom and we advertise it on Facebook.
Okay.
Every Monday night at 9 p.m. And we deal with various things. We deal with finance, we deal with health, and we just deal with life in general. Then every first Monday, we normally bring a married couple on and call Keeping It Fresh. Every first Monday of the month. We
Wow.
bring a married couple on. Got to get you and your wife on sometime.
Okay.
And that is, and we call Keeping It Fresh because, relationships are being savaged so much now. So we got to be able to learn how to start keeping it fresh, because after so long, the relationship gets stale. It's not interesting anymore. That's why they wind up in divorce. So we talked about the things that we need to do to keep a relationship fresh, because the same thing it took to get them. A lot of people say, well, the same thing it took to get them, it takes to keep them. I said, wrong answer, because we evolve. We're not the same person that we were when we first met. So you have to continue being creative in a relationship. You have to continue to keep it fresh and vibrant in order for it to grow.
Wonderful.
So you have to continue to learn and grow. And you don't ever want to get to a point and you just plateau and you start dying at that point. And so that's what we do. That's on Monday night. And on Tuesday night, we do a comfort call at 8 p.m. And then we come together, encourage and strengthen one another, because, we all need encouragement, because encouragement to a person, just like oil to a vehicle, we need that in order to operate.
Wonderful.
So those are the things we do. We bring people's on like yourself from time to time and to speak into our lives. And then sometimes we just have discussion and things, just open forum,
Yeah.
What's ever on your mind.
That's exciting. And so for young men, for individuals who want to learn more or get involved in this exciting forum, again, where do they go? Again, forceofonemedia.org, or can they reach out to you?
Yes, sir. They can reach out to me. They can reach out to me. They can email me, Uncle Frank, maintenance and cleaning, email ufmcs@yahoo.com, or they can call me direct on my phone. I have no problem giving out my personal cell. And it's 770-597-1801. Just like I said, they can meet me on social media. I'm on Instagram.
Well,
but I'm not
you're very approachable, Uncle Frank, and yet you're very much in demand, extremely busy, but you never too busy to help somebody out. And really, that's the heart of God, to think that he takes our phone calls every day at any moment, listens to us. And that's the creator of the universe. He has an intimate interest in us. And yet the Bible says, be therefore imitators of God, and you certainly represent the heart and generosity of a loving God. And that's so beautifully inspiring. It's hard to believe that we're already winding down our interview, because it's just gone at the speed of light.
Good. No, really? Wow, man. We ain't opened it up yet.
But we'll have to get you in here.
Wow.
Let's land with this, because we like to talk about the Father and Son Red Tie event. Because that's a big annual event. It's the 13th year that you do that. You've had some real notable individuals come in and speak, such as Tony Dungy and others, and very, very inspiring, which I've had the pleasure of attending and plan to attend this year as well. But what are your goals and your visions for young men, particularly that you're serving in today's day and age?
My vision for young men is to step their game up and educate themselves, and start caring and loving for one another, and stop shooting and killing one another and all this and that. And that just hurts me to my heart every time I hear tell us something like that, and quit being so angry and enjoy life, man, because we don't live but one time. You got to realize life is running out, but now our life is running out, but time is not. So we have to take advantage of the time that we have here. So take advantage of the time that we have, because all of our lives are running out. And so I want them to realize and understand and be more appreciative of life, man, and start finding their purpose and start living their purpose, man. And don't just find their purpose and live their life purposely. Live it purposefully, live it on purpose. Live your life purposely and be passionate about it, and learn how to be patient, and all of that is very, very important. So those are some of the things that I want to see more young people do. you know, to
Yeah.
be more patient, be more purpose, and be more passionate, be more purposely. You know, that's what I want to see in young people, man. You know,
Repeat those 4 P's, though. They're pretty powerful.
it was a passion,
Passion.
being more
Yeah.
passion, and
Yeah.
being more purpose, and being more
Purposeful.
patient, and
Patient.
being more purposeless, and also persistent, and also
throwing persistent in there. Now you got a power
exactly.
5. That sounds like a good sermon right there. That's a good keynote with those 5
Mhm.
points. I love that. That's
Those
great.
pretty much the pillars of life.
Those are the pillars of life, and you open up the doors of Force of One so that people can walk in and have a sense of community, encouragement, and really learn and grow and encourage one another and foster that kind of purpose-driven life that
Absolutely.
you just offer others. That is so wonderful. Tell us also about the Father Son Red Tie event that's coming up. I think you're preparing for about 300 to 400 individuals to come
Correct.
through. Tell us a little bit about that so we can anticipate and spread the good news about that upcoming event.
Okay, I'm gonna say this part right quick because you know, like I said, there's a such thing. One reason we do this because there's such thing is called absent while present. You know, there's a
Okay.
lot of fathers they are present in the home, but they still absent. They still absent because why you say they're absent, Frank, and they present in the home? Simple reason because there's no time being spent between the two. They putting food on the table and roof over the head and clothes on the back, but they're not spending that one-on-one time with them, important into them, and that's just something very important. You know, that time. You know, very important. And so, like I said, we got it. We haven't came up with the venue just yet. You know,
Yeah.
but it'll be the Saturday before Father's Day. You
Yeah.
know, and
Yeah.
so, no, like I said, we were expecting anywhere between 250 about 300 men this year,
Yeah.
and so we're just looking forward to be eliminating prayer and hoping that when men come this year, they'll leave with a better outlook on what a
Yeah.
man really is and what a father really is and his more of his role of a father. And so
Yeah.
those are some of the things that we're looking to. So we have everybody come with dressed up in what we say red because it's just something, you know, like togetherness. That's why we call the Father and Son Red Tie event, because red is something that stands out and everything, you know. And we want to be able to carve out a space for the fathers and the son to sit down and talk, because a lot of fathers and sons don't sit down and talk anymore. So that's a good opportunity. And we have a father, and we usually pick about 5 fathers, and we use or give them an award, and we'll have the father to come up and, you know, speaking to his son, just speak directly to his son, let him know how proud he is of his son in public. You know, that's to make his son feel good, elevate him. And then we'll have the son to speak to his father, let him know how proud he is of him, and that'll elevate the father, make him feel good. Because we need to do more of that public uplifting. We need more of that.
That's
That
beautiful.
really, people not saying that you need that validation, but it does help.
Yeah.
Because that's what I was saying earlier, encouragement to a person just like oil to a vehicle. We all
Yeah.
need it. We all do. Regardless whether we want it or not, or realize we need it or not, but we all need encouragement. We all do.
And there's nothing of greater power than encouragement from a father.
Right.
I mean, that is the most inspiring, powerful source of where one can get encouraged. And you've been doing that for how many years annually,
About
faithfully?
13. Mhm.
13 years,
Been a little
bringing
more, a little
fathers.
longer than that, but we've
Yeah.
been doing the
Doing
events for about
the
13.
event faithfully, consistently, year in, year out for 13 years. And I know that when I went to one of your events, you had Joel Dudley Sr. and his son, Joe
Joe.
Dudley, Jr.,
Mhm.
and they were together and shared their story together as a father and son. And that was really, really special. Well, Uncle Frank, Dr. Frank Marshall, some people call you Dr. Frank Marshall, and rightfully so. You've always been Uncle Frank Marshall to me. It just seems a little
I
more
have no
personal and
problem.
endearing.
Nothing but love, Phil.
I love you to death. Give us one. If there was one takeaway, one word of wisdom that you would like to impart before we leave here, what would that be?
Mhm. I would say never stop learning, never stop
Mm.
learning, never stop loving, never stop learning, and never stop loving. Now, I would say that those two things right there take you a long way in life, man. Loving and learning.
Love, learn, and live, right?
And live.
Oh,
Exactly. That's
beautiful,
right.
beautiful.
Beautiful.
What a great way. What a great way to send us off for another inspiring day. And for you who have been listening, all of you, we so much appreciate you taking time out of your day to invest in yourself and in others. And if you like what you hear, feel free to like us, to share this video with others, and to subscribe so you'll be kept up to date with guests that will be coming in and day out to share their wisdom with us. Dr. Frank, Uncle Frank Marshall, I love you.
I love
And
you
thank
more.
you so much for being on our program. We look forward to following your work with great interest.
Thank you for having me, man. Love you, bro.
Love
Enjoy
you.
the rest of your day.
All right. Take care.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
You've been listening to the Goal Achievers podcast with professional speaking agent Phil R. Taylor. For free access to all Phil's resources and interviews, please visit myspeakersource.com. Or if you are an event or meeting planner and would like more information on how we can equip you with the perfect speakers to make your event a huge success, please email us at speakers@myspeakersource.com or give us a call at 407-900-2427. This has been a My Speaker Source production. On behalf of Phil R. Taylor and the entire team, we wish you a blessed day as you pursue the achievement of your dreams and goals.
There's a reason for the sunshine sky. There's a reason why I'm feeling so high. Must be the season when that love light shines all around us. So let that feeling grab you deep inside, send you reeling where your love can't hide, and then go stealing through the moonlit nights with your lover. Just let your love flow like a mountain stream, and let your love grow with the smallest of dreams, and let your love show.